It's very easy to get obsessed with accessing more business credit, but here's the real question. What's the end game? What's the point of stacking all these credit lines and getting $50,000, $100,000, or even $250,000 in funding if you don't know how to turn that into real wealth? In this video, I'm breaking down the exact path that I'm following and how you can also use it to go from your first funding approval all the way to generational wealth that pays you for life. Be sure to stick around to the end and let me know in the comments below if this video helps you. So with that being said, let's jump into it. The first goal is simple. Leverage the bank's money to build your first cash flowing business. And so ultimately, we want to use these credit lines to get out of the rat race. When I say no longer being in the rat race, I mean that the income from your assets that make you money on a monthly basis that you don't have to trade your time for exceed the cost of your living expenses. So if your living expenses are about $5K a month, we want our asset column to be making us at least $15K a month or more to truly be financially free. And so to give you guys some context before jumping right into the strategy, in entrepreneurship, I've realized that there's three types of businesses that you can own. The first one is a cash flow business. These businesses generally have low startup costs, are beginner friendly, which means it usually just requires you to learn a skill or some specialized information that can solve a problem for someone else, and they give you a fast path to profit. So generally the profit margins on these businesses is 50% or more. So think selling digital products, having a marketing agency, or offering consulting services. The second type of business is what I call an enterprise value business. These businesses generally have higher startup costs that generally range from tens of thousands to get started all the way up to millions of dollars. But they're built to sell or go public, not to take out profit. When it comes to building these types of businesses, generally the majority of the profit is reinvested back into the company in order to scale the enterprise value of the business. So think tech companies, SaaS, media companies, and scalable e-commerce brands. And the third type of business is what I call a passive income business. These businesses typically produce stable monthly returns and require little attention once they're stabilized. So think real estate investments, REITs, dividend stock portfolios, and investing in established cash flow businesses that already have systems in place. And so now that you understand the three types of businesses, let's jump into how this applies to our strategy for building wealth. So as a beginner, you start with you. So you invest in mentorships, books, executing on everything that you learn within your own business, and really just learning the game of how to become a successful entrepreneur. And so your first cash flow business is the testing ground. The goal of this is to stack your skills and stack your net worth to hit that first $5 million to $10 million in liquid net worth. Once you've built that foundation, you're no longer trading time for money. You now use money to buy back time. The next step is investing in passive income businesses that pay you forever. So now you take that first $5 million and park it into a low risk business that gives you a steady cash on cash return. So let's say that you earn a 6% return on $5 million. That's $300,000 a year or $25,000 a month to fund your entire lifestyle. And let's just go back to that earlier example where I said your living expenses are maybe about $5K a month. If your investments are bringing in $25K a month, you have an additional 20 grand a month to continue to reinvest into building more assets, which in return will continue to expand your cash flow and expand your net worth. And so now at this point, you're out of the rat race. So you're no longer just hustling for bills, you're building for legacy now. Step 3 is creating your first enterprise value business. Now this is where the play changes. At this point, you want your cash flow business to require very little of your time and attention, but still makes you millions of dollars every single year. So then you want to take the excess cash from your cash flow business and you want to split it 50-50. 50% is invested into more passive income streams so you can keep stacking returns and scaling your net worth. And the other 50% is invested into building an enterprise value business. So at this level, you're not trying to take out 10K a month or 100K a month. The goal here is to build a company that's worth 100 million to a billion plus. So at this stage, when you're building an enterprise value business, you may need to also raise money from outside investors and also give up some equity. But if you own even 10 to 20% of a $1 billion company, that's a $100 million to $200 million net worth. And this is a blueprint that I'm personally following step by step. And there's nothing stopping you from doing the same. So then once you're at this stage, from here on out, every business you build is an enterprise value business that's built to exit at 9+ figures. And so a lot of times as seasoned entrepreneurs, you're no longer starting companies from scratch. You're buying existing businesses and growing them to the points that you want to grow them to. So now where you can either exit, take them public, or just continue to hold on to them, take that money and reinvest into even bigger businesses. Or the other type of business would be more passive income businesses that continue to pay you every single month without requiring too much of your time and attention. And this is how you escape survival mode and step into a life of creative freedom and unlimited opportunity. And so as you guys can see, when I talk about wealth, I'm not talking about just making a lot of money. I'm talking about owning businesses, real estate, and other assets that are worth a lot of money. When talking to wealthy people, the conversations are more so centered around how much is a business worth that you own, not necessarily how much money do you make as an individual. So if you're ready to stop playing small and want to use funding the right way to build lasting wealth, fill out the 60-second form below and get your personalized funding game plan. Let's map out your first 50K to 250K in funding and help you build a plan to turn that into 10 million plus in liquid net worth. Because the real end game is financial freedom and time freedom, not just funding. And so with that being said, my name is Jalil Nash, founder of JSM Funding Solutions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.